Hey there, and welcome. You know that incredible show nature puts on for us every single year? Well, today we're going to go behind the curtain and solve the beautiful mystery of why leaves change color. Let's dig in. I bet it's a question you've asked yourself, right? You see that first splash of yellow on a tree and you just wonder, what is actually going on there? It seriously looks like magic, doesn't it? But it's actually some of the coolest, most well-timed chemistry you can imagine. So what is really going on? Okay, so to really get the fall colors, we've got to start with summer green. Our whole story begins not with an ending, but with a disguise. A green disguise that's all thanks to one powerhouse pigment. So just picture a leaf in the middle of summer. It's not just sitting there looking pretty. It is a full-on, solar-powered factory, just humming with activity. Its entire job is to soak up sunlight and crank out food for the tree. And that bright green color? That's the sign of a factory running at peak performance. And the star of this whole operation, it's a pigment called chlorophyll. This is the stuff that makes photosynthesis happen, and it's what makes leaves green. But here's the kicker, the part you really need to remember. There's so much chlorophyll in that leaf that it completely hides every other color. It's like a big green blanket or a mask. All right, so if these little factories are working so hard all summer, what on earth tells them to just stop? It turns out the tree gets a memo, kind of like an internal email from Mother Nature herself, saying, hey, fall's coming. And that memo, it's got two key pieces of information. First, the days start getting shorter, which means less sunlight for the factory. And second, of course, it gets colder. And that 1-2 punch of less light and chilly air, that's the signal. That's the trigger that tells the tree, okay, time to switch things up. So, once the tree gets that signal, it has to make a pretty practical business decision. It's just not worth it anymore to keep these food factories open. The energy cost to run them through a cold, dark winter is way too high. So the order comes down from the top, shut it down for the season. Okay, so step one in shutting down the factory, you've got to start getting rid of the main equipment. And this right here is where that green mask we talked about finally starts to disappear. And this isn't random at all. It's a super precise step-by-step process. Once that signal comes through, the tree grows this special layer of cells right where the leaf meets the stem. It's basically like closing a gate, slowly choking off the supply of water and nutrients to the leaf. And that green chlorophyll? It's actually pretty fragile. Without that steady supply, it just breaks down and vanishes. Poof. All right, so the green is fading away, and now for the really cool part. We're about to see what's been hiding under that green disguise this entire time. So just imagine it, right? The green is slowly fading out of the leaf, the factory is closing, the main machinery is being hauled away, and bam! We finally get to see the colors that were there the whole time. These gorgeous yellows and oranges, they aren't new. They've just been unmasked. So what are these hidden colors? They're called carotenoids. And yeah, if that sounds like carrot, you're exactly right. It's the same stuff that makes carrots orange and corn yellow. They're always there, playing backup during the summer. But once the chlorophyll checks out, boom, they get to be the star of the show. Okay, but hold on. What about those incredible fiery reds and deep purples? Are they hiding too? Nope. These are different. This is the grand finale, a burst of color that's brand new, made fresh for the occasion. This is where we meet our third group of pigments, the anthocyanins. And the absolute key thing to know about them is this. They are not in the leaf during the summer. They get whipped up from scratch in the fall, but only if the conditions are just right. So, what's the special recipe for red? Well, first, you need bright, sunny days in the fall. That keeps the leaf making lots of sugar. But then, you need those chilly nights. That cold air makes the little veins in the leaf clamp shut, and that traps all that sugar inside. And this super concentrated sugar solution, that's what triggers the chemical reaction to produce those stunning red and purple pigments. It's why the best fall colors always seem to pop after a week of sunny days and cold nights. All right, let's pull this all together. The story of autumn leaves is basically a play with three main characters, three types of pigment, and each one has a totally different role. This really breaks it down, doesn't it? First, you've got chlorophyll. That's our green mask that just fades away. Then, the carotenoids. Those are the hidden yellows and oranges that finally get their big reveal. And finally, the anthocyanins, the brand new reds and purples made for the grand finale.
It's just amazing how this whole chemical dance creates the feeling of autumn, right? It's that poetry that Emily Bronte is talking about here. We all know that feeling when we see that first colorful leaf flutter to the ground. And really, that's what I want you to take away from all this. What looks like an ending is really a revelation. It's the moment a leaf finally gets to show you its true colors. So the next time you see a forest that looks like it's on fire with color, you'll know exactly what's going on. It's not an ending at all, it's a brilliant chemical reveal happening right in front of you.